Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the hit, and not the show, but us, because we're the hit. The show is also a hit, but we're a hit. The hit review of the hit show, Power Book Full Force. It's your boy Lucas back with my main man, my partner in crime.
You know what it
never
is.
get his name right.
Nigerian Lucas.
Najir, what's going on, my brother?
What's up, dude? I'm confused, bro. Our names are not even remotely near each other on the graphics below. Like, that's my name right there, and that's his name over
clearly,
there.
They feel like, hey, they combined it to one. It's Nigerian Lucas.
and then I started to think, well, what the hell is my name then? Folks, somebody jumped in our comments crazy, calling Lucas Nigerian Lucas, and I had no clue.
Or maybe they were talking to both of us, and they just combined it as Nigerian Lucas.
No, because
I know
possibility. It's like, yeah, what is he drinking? Looks good. Told her to hit you up in the DMs too. So
don't do that to her. She's not prepared for that type of lifestyle yet. Hey, so we are back with the second review of the new season of Power Book Force. This episode is called King of the Goddamn Hill. Again, now we're coming off the first episode, which, for anybody who knows, you saw the news out there, smashed every record humanly possible for stars, for power. As 50 Cent would say, the Green Light Gang is in full effect here. And then we open up this episode almost identical to the way we opened up the first episode.
I'm glad you peeped that.
As we just got Tommy reminiscing, this time about Lakeisha. I didn't see a photo with Cash.
Oh, it was there. It was the second one.
I didn't see him. I just saw Lakeisha.
He was there. Yeah, he's in the second one. I saw that. I was like, damn, Cash got another cameo. What's going on here?
So, what'd you think of the way it started out again, giving us that Tommy reminiscing about the past and him still fully, as you can tell, he's not over everything that happened.
Is the word motif here? I think that's the word I'm looking for. I could be wrong, but I think there's like something poetic about this because not only can Tommy not leave the past, we also see the past is not leaving him, and things, people, and everything are catching up. So it's very telling that we get the start of it, that we know emotionally he's still connected to the past, but by physically in events that are occurring, the past hasn't left him. So I do like how it is, and I like how there is, within the imagery, there's story to be told, and I like how they did that. No words were even said, and it told a lot.
I think it's trying to build up on the family dynamic here with Tommy, even more so. Like, clearly we know the way he saw Ghost as his brother. He sees Lakeisha as his wife, or the wife that was taken away from him. Cash as his son that was taken away from him. And here you get the transition from him going through that to him meeting up and having a conversation with his brother right after his brother's club gets shot up. Now, I know about Chicago. I'm not surprised that the club got shot up. I wouldn't even think of something like Notorious happened, like he was selling drugs, as Tommy clearly pointed out, like, man, you must be dealing or something if they shot your club up. But it was the perfect moment to set up the interaction with the brothers and to talk about loss and to bring up a huge thing for JP, or I'm not gonna say huge, but something that they brought up just to see Tommy's reaction, and that was when he said, man, felt the same way when my husband left me.
Yeah.
But it also plays dividends down the road later on in the episode. But that setup right there with the setup of Lakeisha, it just really tied in all the family dynamics that Tommy's going through in this season.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep saying this till the end of forever. I like how Power adds queer and homosexual characters into shows without making it like this person is gay, here is all of the rainbow colored flags and everything for this person. No, they make these people very human. And this is another one where it was like, just in case y'all wanted to make this a big deal, fan base or whatever you thought the story was going to do, hey, Tommy, is this a problem? No. End of story. Let's keep going on with the characters. But as you said, it does pay dividends going forward, and I cannot wait. Can I just jump the gun just a little bit here? I'm disappointed in you, Lucas. I know you were on vacation. I know you were sipping Mai Tais. I get it.
I have never in my life sipped a Mai Tai, but I was.
Then I told a big lie. My bad. What was you drinking? Hey, listen.
The local rum, straight. That's
Okay.
what we do.
And how
Yeah,
you didn't
damn
get a Mai Tai then? You were right. You were that close.
Hey. The ladies that were with me, they had those type of drinks. I was
Okay,
like,
cool.
nah, you know, you gotta keep it G. When you
Yeah,
around
I hear
everybody,
that.
like, nah, I ain't no punk. I ain't no
They-
punk. I don't need no sweet sugary drink. Sometimes
Listen.
them Dillo Jones was looking nice though. I was like, shit.
And
it's hot
listen,
as
they
hell
would
out
give
here.
you, they would definitely give you those very, very revealing glasses that makes it look like, what the hell is he drinking all cute over there?
I will not have an umbrella in my drink, goddamn it.
But listen, I'm disappointed in you because when we did our interviews, I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna take your thunder here, but you've always been very keen to like, why are they pairing these people?
Hey,
did you see this coming? And folks, if you don't know what we're talking about here, we're talking about JP Gibbs, who I can't think of his name right now. Forgive me, I'll grab it in a second. But he was paired with the character D-Mac, who we had not been introduced to, and I'm like,
not at all. And we were wondering. They said it's weird that they had set up that interview with a character that we did not see in the first episode, and then a pairing. We were like, okay, all pairings are set up for a reason. Why is this pairing set up? Now, I didn't necessarily put together that would be his son. I thought maybe another little brother or something out the woodwork. That caught me a little bit off guard when you see after the horrible setup of saying, like, I came out and my ex, like, she took my son completely away from me. And then you see little man with the Uzi, but he still got the picture of his dad there. So he's kind of reminiscing about his dad. But then it makes me, what, was he the one who shot up the club?
Ooh, well, there's a lot, and we're only 5 minutes in the episode here, and there's a lot to tell with that. First of all, we do know now why Gloria actually pays for protection for hers because, well, you don't want that to happen because that's a normal thing in Chicago. If you're not paying for security,
they shoot the club up.
They're shooting the club up
In more ways than one in Chicago, so you got to be very careful out here.
Yep, and as JP Gibbs said, you know, his kid is 16 years old and he hadn't seen him in 14 years. Mom took him away ever since he came out. And yeah, like you said, we've seen D-Mac out. We did see the gun of choice. I think there may be something to be.
I think he shot up the club.
I think there's something to be made there.
Yeah.
I think it is. And I think you have to think about this just a little bit. Is he mad that his mom took him away? Or does he feel that his dad left him?
He may have felt his dad left because he don't know the whole
always the story. Always the story.
Hey, man. All this reminded me of it's a great song by Jay-Z called Meet the Parents that really details this type of story about you growing up and not knowing who your dad is. And again, if he was just to approach this kid on the street, or Tommy was, and you shoot up that club and they find out it's you, what do you think the natural reaction would be? To take the kid out, but he wouldn't know who the kid is.
Yeah.
I think that's a great setup to do. I'm standing by it. He damn sure shot that club up.
Think so.
But I think he shot it up because he knew that was his dad's club.
Yeah.
It's just that he don't know the backstory. Like, nah, your mom took me away from you. He don't know. He possibly doesn't know that element. But again, you're right. I was trying to figure out why they were paired together in that interview and could not figure it out to save my life. I said it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was like, maybe they're just new characters and they just feel like, you know, they're the loose parent. But nah, we gotta stick to our guns here, man. Parents always mean something. So, you know, but
hey, and then again, following the motif, and that is the word because you're right about that. Yeah, follow the motif of the setup of the family. We get next the head of the criminal organization, and we find out he's sick.
Yeah.
Now, granted, this is something that happens a lot in these movies or shows where they want to trigger an emotional reaction to show who the successor is by having the statesman either be sick or ready to give it up. But here, when he's sick and he has that conversation with Vic, and he's like, yeah, you can't even tell your sister I'm sick. Like, when I go, this is all yours. But the moment he says this is all yours, and Vic's like, I'm gonna make it my own, his next words is, no, you're not. You're going to continue this operation the exact way I have it set up. And if you don't, the other people in this organization will kill you and get rid of you. Now, for power, this is huge right here. We've never had a criminal organization that clearly has a hierarchy, but they don't respect a possible monarchy of that hierarchy of the son taking over, attempting to change things. But I got when he said, "If you change anything, they will kill you." What was your thoughts about that? Because that shit just caught me off guard. Like, so you're telling me I can't even make this mine? It's like I'm just here.
I want to say also, there's a lot of family similarities and parents that's going on. JP Gibbs' dad is also sick. So we're going to see how parents being sick are going to affect the kids and the siblings' relationships. When he said that, I mean, first of all, Vic was probably like, me next? Nah, because you literally have always boasted over how much Claudia is the right person. And again, we're going to keep saying this, is that Claudia is never going to be the person because Claudia is a woman.
Yes.
It's just not something that they're willing to respect in this Irish family. And thus Vic just has to assume this role, even though Vic doesn't even want to be in it. So for me, it was very funny because he was just like, yeah, I'm going to change it. Vic ain't thinking about changing nothing for real. Vic is literally thinking exit game the entire time. I don't think he wants to be in this at all. Or
do you think I pictured it, especially later on in the episode when you get the picture of why he possibly said about changing it? I think he wants to change it because he wants to change the dynamic of how the family has to run. Like, clearly, again, ain't no reason to hide it. We see that in the episode when he has that conversation with Gloria and what he wants, and her saying, we can never be together because you have to marry
an Irish woman.
White Irish woman.
Pure Irish woman.
Pure blooded woman.
Yeah.
So could it be that's what he wants to change? He's like, man, like, certain things of the business, because he clearly respects his sister.
Yeah.
And respects what she knows to bring to the table. But it would be a change from the way his father does business. So he's thinking, if I change that, if I can change the way you perceive or what I have to end up with, that's going to be the new business. And his dad like, no, they'll just kill you and get rid of you.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he wants to change.
Yeah, I don't think Vic has it all figured out, nor do I think he cares. I think Gloria has exposed that more times than enough that, like, hey, I know you got this granular plan of us being together and leaving, but like every single suggestion that you give, you walking yourself into a dark alley that has no outcome for us.
Exactly.
So I think this is cool because the more we see Vic really become just oblivious to his reality, the more I buy into Claudia. And I'm cool with that because I know, again, they done praised her for saying she has everything in the toolbox. I like that. It's definitive. It's not even for questioning who is the deserving person, next person up. And it's Claudia each and every time. I mean, we talked a little bit about this in terms of Power Book 2 Ghost, in terms of the Tejadas as to who was the next to run the family. And it was all over the place. I mean, I was very firm on Diana, and then Jimmy's like, you know what? It's Drew. I think in this situation of the Flynn's, it's not even a question.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy as Claudia. It's not even close. But again, you said she has everything in the toolbox except for that one tool.
She's gonna get fed up.
Yeah, and you can tell she is, because even when she gave a suggestion of what happens in a business, and for her dad to say, "Why are you always trying to insert yourself in rooms you don't belong in?"
Man,
like, that was deep, because that's letting you know, like, hey, we see you as a woman. That will never change. Now go in there, get the chicken, put it on the table so everybody can eat. Just like Monet had to do. Stop asking goddamn questions.
Listen, no disrespect to the writers of Power. I think they do a fantastic job. I think Tommy Flanagan has to be writing his own script at this point. He's so immersed into these characters. It's so natural for the things that he say. You're like, I damn sure know he'll say that. Not even question. And I'm pretty sure if they had something written for him, he's probably like, nope, this is what they will really say.
Yeah, exactly. He flipped it like, no. Let me tell you, this is what really would have been said in this situation. So you don't confuse it and try to make it on Hollywood. Now, one woman on this season so far who clearly has her own destiny in her hands. And we see her as she meets up. First, let's start off by saying, the second introduction to Tommy here. as we see him just walking the streets, minding his own damn business. And he runs into an old foe. And I know y'all like us. I know y'all was wondering, who the fuck is this? Why does Tommy care who the fuck is this? So for the first time in our review research ever, we actually had to research, or I had to research who this person was, because I was confused here. And this is when we get the reintroduction of Liliana.
Yeah.
From the first season. Understand this.
Yeah.
We are through damn near 10 to 11 seasons of Power. And they decide to bring a character who was in 2 episodes in the first season back. The only 3? It was 3? I remember 2. I didn't know it was 3. But the only reason we remember her is because of the girl who sliced her face up in the first season, because we clearly remember her, because Ghost was chasing her through Spanish Town, through Havana. He went everywhere to kill this girl. Humanly possible. But the reintroduction of Liliana here with Tommy, and we see her believe that Tommy is out to get her. She's just confused here. Again, it goes back to the psychopath that Tommy was in the first season, and she like, 10 years later, he done came to Chicago to kill me because I'm a loose end. Like, that whole setup was great, and it was comical, and it was funny. It was everything that separates Force from, I'm not going to call it Tariq Power, but Power Book 2 goes even separated from Raising Kanan, even though Uncle Marvin does a lot of this comedic element into it also. But here, just that slick comedic element of him running into her cutting up his jacket, and him saying, like, this is why we can't have nice things. What do you think about them bringing back this character at this point for this show?
Listen, I am tired of having to overthink things in order to bring this to the show. Literally wanted to say, oh, that's a cool cameo, but then I had to go down the dark down rabbit hole of possibilities with this. This is huge, and I know y'all think I'm about to reach, but this is huge. You know why it's huge? Because it goes back to my opening statement tonight, that Tommy's past is catching up to him. And then that's not even a good enough answer, because Tommy and Ghost's past is coming back to haunt him. So I think, more or less, for all of the fans who like to fantasy book and all these wild card predictions, this is the time now, because now I think there's a saying, back me up here. Something I'm about to just botch this so bad.
Oh shit!
It's something about reaping the sins of your past. Is that how it goes?
Wow, you combined a couple of them. Hold up.
All right, help me out, brother. Help me out.
It's the sins of your past coming back to roost. Is a kind of a way they normally say that, meaning or what you reap is what you sow. Yeah. Meaning what you do will come back. Either way, it's the same thing. Yeah. Whatever you've done in the past will come back to you, and you're gonna have to deal with it.
Yep.
And this is cool. Yeah, exactly. I know, because they're gonna. I know.
Fry
I fried that. Look here.
Can't believe Nigerian Lucas messed that up.
Hey, look. I done got 3 shades darker. I done been drinking straight for 8 days. I ain't had water in at least 2 weeks. Look here. I may have got that confused, but I got part of it correct. But again, this is a situation where it is your past coming back to you, coming back in a way to haunt you, because he's so terrified the moment he sees her.
Yeah.
He thinks you're out to set me up. She thinks you're out to get me. It's the past coming back to him, because in a way it's showing that Tommy can actually never escape New York. That's the perfect way they set it up to let you know he can never escape it, because he's terrified that someone is going to come looking for him.
Yeah.
And he thought this was that moment when they were coming to get him.
Listen, and I can't believe this even happened. I didn't even pick up on this, because in the first episode, we seen Tommy assess every situation, just like analytical genius about how to do a deal. But in this episode, we noticed something very, very similar, but yet very different. And Diamond picked up on it. He says, I see you looking over your shoulders everywhere you go, every single time. And I was like, Interesting. I didn't pick that up, but yet he did. And we all know that's very synonymous of you thinking somebody is watching you. Again, this is telling that if you got people coming, even though she was there, and that's sort of something from your past, you're still driving around in this Mustang making noise in a city that is both hot with the feds, but also a gold mine with so many different players in the game. Can't wait till we talk about it. Don't be surprised. And matter of fact, let's not even foreshadow here. We seen the product that she had, and we seen the sign on the product. We know where that comes from.
Exactly.
We know on the mecha scale list. This is a top tier threat. So don't be surprised, folks, if the Serbs make an appearance, if the Serbs start to come up looking for him. And let's also not forget, there's other folks that they potentially could have had let go or not completed the deal that may eventually come back to haunt him. And I know people are reaching for one name, and I don't think he's going to show up. But who's to say that somebody like a 2-bit doesn't show up because he still exists? Who knows if there's? But we'll leave that characters. We're not going to talk logistics. I know, but
I'm just saying, what makes you think Courtney would ever allow this show to happen?
I'm not saying
without 2-bit showing up. Like, come on now.
Well, listen. The way they're trolling her in the lives, she's not answering no 2-bit questions. So right now, 2-bit doesn't exist. Okay. Even Spanky got a nod, and she just would not answer nothing about 2-bit. So I'm just gonna say, just think on a scale of like, there's characters out there that did not get put underground, that still exist, that has connections. That if Liliana can show up, then somebody like a 2-bit could show up, and other people that may not have got the resolve may show up. That has to be essentially a ghost of Tommy's past. So
exactly,
this is where this is where things get
interesting. If she get her hands on that product, what other name did she use to get that product? There's no other name to use. We know where that product comes from. It stems from the beginning of power. So what makes you think once she leaves this town, once she gets assistance, because again, if you know her backstory, you know how she still survived, that the third in command at one point was the reason why she was still living, that she wouldn't put his name out there or Ghost's name out there or even Tommy's name out there. It's like, I'm with them. They've moved it partially of their operation here. That's how she was able to survive. It makes perfectly good sense. But the moment she did that, it put heat on Tommy. But as you pointed out, she points out in this episode, the moment I heard of a white boy in a blue Mustang, I immediately thought it was you and you were coming to kill me. So again, you got the hottest car on the block.
Got to get rid of it.
Got to get rid of it. But we know one thing Tommy ain't doing is getting rid of that goddamn car.
At the deal, my man was like a parking lot pimping.
Oh no, chill. We gonna get into that because that's See, here's the thing. I'm running the show today, so my notes are a little different than Nigerians. I'm gonna keep it in order. I'm gonna skip over some shit because we done talked about some shit, but I'm gonna keep it in order because the next thing that happened of importance, because I'm gonna skip past Vic a little bit in Gloria because we kind of discussed it already. Ain't no reason to dig into it a little deeper. We understand that he wants to be with her, but we also understand he can't be with her because unfortunately the races don't match. That's literally the only thing separating them two, is that Gloria fully understands he can never be with her, no matter how much he loves her. But the next thing is Tommy visiting the brothers to return the package and the money. Again, it's a hell of a move. We wondered in episode 1 when he took the product and the money, what was going to happen. So by the end of episode 1, we see him return half of it. Here we finally see him return the other half of it, and we get a fake gangster shows up, because if it's me, I can't buy Jeremiah as a gangster. I'm sorry, I just can't. I tried. I really tried. I cannot. I can't. Every time I saw him, I thought of the songs, man.
Listen, good for him. He got his cameo. Good for him.
It's more than a cameo because he's clearly He's clearly the lead of the young shooters here.
Okay, yeah, well,
He's clearly the lead of the young shooters here. Again, first we get the brothers having that conversation of what it means to have those type of shooters around. People who, as Diamond said, people who just spray. They don't care who they hit. They just spray. Clearly, it was a conflict between him and his brother about how we're going to go about business.
Let's add a little more context to that.
Oh, okay.
There is clearly a conflict between the hierarchy and CBI. That's what it is. It's like do you resume your position and adapt to the change, or are we going with the new philosophy under Jannard?
I was going to get into that after the Tommy thing, because after Tommy is introduced to them,
okay,
that's when we do get the conflict.
Okay.
Because remember, first it's Tommy coming in the room, Tommy attempting to return the drugs.
Right.
And Diamond saying, "You're the white boy that my brother told me about."
Yep.
And we get that exchange between them and him asking Tom, like, "Why are you returning this?" Even his brother saying, "You're stupid. I'd at least kept the money." And Tommy basically saying, one, it ain't about that. Two, you keep those little drugs because they stepped on or they're cut with baby aspirin. Like they're no good to me. But then that's when we get the conflict of the brothers. When we see the shooters come up because he's protecting him. And then when Diamond tells them, "Put your weapons away," and they pay him absolutely no attention.
This is foolish to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is foolish. This is absolutely foolish. But I think it's only good because it lets you know that the shooters are always and will only be shooters. Brainless. Absolutely. As I say, they're waiting for the nod. You don't need the nod because the head just told you to put your guns down. That's all you need. As our parents have told us many times in our life. Boy, don't make me tell you twice. But here we are.
See, but hey, I'll give you the different analogy because you brought it up, and I'm gonna need you to answer it right after I finish. How much did it mean in a lot of those parent households, especially two-parent now, only two-parent I'm talking about. One parent, you already know who ruled. It was the mama, and she went for play. But in two-parent households, when the mother told you to do it, you may have paid her absolutely no attention. To the dad said, what'd your mother say? And you put them down. Here is the thing. It clearly is an organization set up by Diamond, but his brother has been running it. They're going to respond to the guy who's feeding them because the wolves only respond to the guy who's feeding them. They give a fuck about the other guy.
Silly.
They don't know you.
Silly.
Yeah, everybody absolutely silly.
Everybody know the big OG was locked up. You know what it is when they get home. When they come home, it's a celebration. Y'all done got the new spot. You fall in order. We done seen it. Matter of fact, we want to draw comparisons now. I mean, did we go to BMF when What's-Her-Face came out and his soldiers was like, man, we did, we went to with Lamar. Hey, we were with them, but now that you back, we back with you. That's right. Ain't even a question. You're not sitting here picking sides. Y'all know what it is, as Lamar probably even said. So to me, this is interesting because not only are we about to see conflict between the brothers, we're also going to have these little knucklehead soldiers not knowing who to point the gun at. And I see that coming from a mile away.
hey, Diamond said it from the beginning. You got these little, they point and spray. Again, but it's a different type of game. As Diamond points out later in the episode, it's a different type of game.
Yeah.
And his brother is more acclimated to the game. He understands it way more than Diamond did. As he says at one point, like, you've been locked away. Things changed. It ain't the way it used to be. As Biggie would have said, things done changed back in the day. like, it ain't that no more. So he's absolutely confused about the way things should operate. But here we also get the situation where after this big conclusion, after Tommy chokes Jeremiah up and the rest of the shooters come in, we get Tommy and Diamond leave together and get kidnapped by a crew that was never mentioned in the first episode.
It's a wild. Chicago is wild.
hey! Not only is Chicago wild, I was like, damn it! What the fuck? Did little Guap grow muscles? Like, what the fuck happened here? But as they get kidnapped and told, you got to move this weight in 3 hours again. I love power with the time frames they give you to move large quantity.
I'm ready to quit my job. Shit is crazy.
Hey, at this point, nigga, I can do. I would say more, but I already know what y'all think about me. But if you told me I could move this shit in that nigga, I would do it in a heartbeat. It would not be a question.
Listen,
say that.
That's the new corner boy sales pitch. It ain't how much money you can make. It should be like, look, bang for your buck, time for your effort. These are the numbers that we're putting out here. In nigga, 2 hours,
you can make 150 grand in 2 hours. But again, they basically just brought them in as pickup boys.
Yeah.
To hit these spots. I would almost want to say hit these spots that they felt were too risky for them to hit themselves. Because that's what it came across with a lot of these spots. And this kidnapping because of, again, as you pointed out, your past actions coming back to haunt you. As this case is Diamond's past actions coming back to haunt him. What do you think about the way they brought that back around? Because that was the most interesting part to me.
I don't even know if I can answer that question because my mind is so set on the idea that, as you mentioned, this crew called the Rojas comes in, kidnaps them, make them do the bid, right? Mm-hmm. And then we get introduced to all of these folks. And as you're right, Diamond, it's a lot with Diamond. I don't even think this is a one shot because as we see, he's truly like off some, I ain't going back. And I can't wait till we have the scene where he said he ain't going back and he pulls out the strap and he's shooting back while he's running. I mean, if we don't have, 50 Cent is involved with this. We know he's going to have one of these scenes where he's like, I ain't going back and just be running off. We know what's happening. But
he tried to multiple times in the car.
Oh, for sure.
He was losing it.
Oh, for sure. The trauma's there. It's a little bit triggering too. I got to say, like, I'm never easy watching those type of stuff. But what I think is important to what you said is that we're showing about the different groups here. Mm-hmm. Chicago is wild. I can't even attach everybody, but I can assure you by the end of this, I have realized that there is about 6 to 7 groups in this city. Mm-hmm. And they're all in close proximity, not in like barrels like in New York. They're all like bang, 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 bang. They're 10-minute Uber rides from each other. You have the Amish. You have this Rojas who got military tactic guns, by the way. I mean,
hey, they are somebody to pay very close attention to because that setup was ridiculous.
Yes, it was. And then you had the other the Spanish crew that was in the car, the mechanic shop. Mm-hmm. And let's not forget, they were doing all of this because they had to pay the money to the cartel. What the fuck is going on in here? And then we get introduced to the Serbs. Obviously, the Serbs are coming. We know it.
Hey, you said the Amish. I was confused. I thought they were Hasidic Jews. I didn't know who they were. But the point that they were in there with machine guns as they were testing, and they showed us the best setup for testing your product. He tested it twice to make sure it was good product. And then you have a nigga in a crack house who's buying huge quantities of crack.
Loaded.
This
so can we talk about that a little bit?
Oh, definitely.
Listen, the dude in the crack house clearly isn't cut from the right cloth here. Because he tested it wrong, and I don't know nothing about this. I know Lucas probably got something to add, but I don't know anything about this. But Tommy helped me out because Tommy said, "What are you doing?" And whether he died or whether he's knocked himself out, he got himself robbed. He could have easily took the brick back, so he messed up. But the question is, how did someone so experienced, so fiended up, have that much money? Are the cops putting money on the streets? Is there somebody else feeding back into the crack house? What the hell is going on in here right now? There's something way, way out of place here that we're going to find out. And I will make one quick prediction. I said I thought the Flynn's are in charge of the docks. I think they might be moving weapons. There's got to be something big that makes them untouchable. That makes them able. And again, when you think about what Paulie and them was able to do on the street and move that pit move with Tommy and all the guns and the tactic, how they did it, they have to be set up. And the Flynn's are not even in this discussion at all, which makes them up here.
because they're not dabbling in that drug game. You gotta have questions. How are you so powerful? And that's not what you're moving. Again, you brought up a very interesting point here, which is what if you there's no such thing. Let me help you all out here. There's no such thing as a person who runs a crack house who takes bumps. Because that was the key part there. When Tommy said, nigga, no, taste the product, don't take a bump. Because if you take a bump, you're gonna get high. The moment you get high, it is over for you. And that's what happened here. And Tommy could have taken the brick and the money, and it would have been perfectly fine because there's no one there to stop them. But the question would be, who the hell is actually buying that product? Because it's not him. The point that he took a bump, it ain't you. Because only people who can possibly take a bump is someone who does not use the drug. But if you don't use the drug, you know the last thing I'm doing is taking a bump of the drug. Like, it makes no sense that he did that.
Oh my goodness.
But again, it just showed the way Chicago moves. It shows the ins and outs of everyone's organization, but it also shows the ins and outs of all the users, because that's highly important, especially for a person like Tommy. You got to know how a city moves way beyond who's buying the product, but also the people who are using the product. That tells me more than anything humanly possible. But after this whole incident, especially at the last incident of him moving it with the crack house, we get Tommy doing something we have never seen Tommy do before in the Power universe.
One input. This is why he was so happy to do the job. Just like you said, because now he gets to scout out everything. That's why when they did, you saw how happy he was when he hit the first. It's like, oh my God. It's not because he hasn't done it before. It's because now he has to discover everything, as you just said.
It's something that Diamond points out later when he says, why did you take the ride? And Tommy said, for protection. He said, nah, you're scouting out my city. And Tommy said, is that a problem that I'm doing that? It sets it up for us to not only see how smart Tommy is, but how smart Diamond is. Yeah. And he picked up on that. Like, wait a minute. Like, no one takes this ride for no reason. But in this ride, you damn near figured out how this city operates. And that's something that you only want to do if you're planning on making a move.
Yep.
Because if I'm not making a move, I can care less how your city operates. But if I'm making a move, I need to know who the big players are. I need to know where the big players hustle, where their stash houses are at, and how to get into them if I need to. It's all a setup by Tommy. And it was a brilliant setup by Tommy that all came to fruition from him bringing back that money and that package. So it highlights even more when Tommy said, it's not about that.
Yeah,
like he fully understood what he needed to do.
Might I add, he also got property finally. And
we're gonna talk about that later, because I got questions about the property that he bought. Because it looks very, very similar to the first property he had in Power. I don't know what it is with Tommy and warehouses, where he just feels uber comfortable in them jobs.
For sure. I just wanted to say that, like, logistics.
Yes, 1,000% so. 1,000% so. But again, back to it, because we've never seen Tommy use his white privilege before. But it's always been brought up like he is a white boy. We fully understand that. But here in this episode, we finally get to see him use the card that everyone knows he always has available to them. And you wonder, would he ever use it? And him in this situation with Diamond, when Diamond is losing his mind behind the wheel of his car. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, because this is a triggering moment for every black man humanly possible. To have to be in that situation where you're calm, you're collected. You're like, dude, I'm not reaching for nothing, because I don't want you to overreact to me reaching for anything. And the moment Tommy comes out, everything de-escalates immediately. So beyond the big implications of what that means in actual society, what did you just think about the way Tommy played it? Because Tommy fully understood, if I play this way, I'm going to get Diamond out of a situation that he could not get out of himself.
Yeah, you know, Diamond's not, he doesn't want to go to jail, and clearly his past is haunting him, and he's a black male regardless he went to jail or not. It's just trauma. It's something that, you know, as black males ourselves, we understand that's what it is. But Tommy, I think there's a couple of things here for me here. I'm trying to figure out a flaw in Tommy outside of love. He has been proven thus far, thus 2 episodes, that he assesses every situation to a T. I'm starting to think that Ghost didn't give him enough credit because right now he is literally reading the room right every time. So I think not only did he make the right call here and handle it right, I have to tell you, him doing that for Diamond is probably more significant than Jannard buying him that barbershop.
Yes.
Problematic for Jannard.
What by the end of the episode, which we're going to get into, what Tommy does is more important than anything Gerard could ever do for Diamond. But again, yes, that part was it. But I don't think it's necessarily Ghost was underestimating Tommy. Maybe we're seeing Tommy finally come into his own.
Yeah.
Maybe because if he never had to be that guy, because Ghost was the most tactical person humanly possible.
Yeah, but you can always
if you
have
don't need
two heads in that, because he let Dre kind of be his mini minion.
I can say this: you can't have 2 heads. What you can have is someone who you allow to believe they have power versus someone who understands their position. Tommy always understood his position. Dre is the one that Ghost allowed to believe that you could be me, but you could never be me. And he would never do that to Tommy because in the end, that was always his brother.
Fair enough.
And we may be looking at Tommy picking up on all the things that Ghost did and him being like, you know what? My brother used to do this. Ooh. It ain't hard for me to analyze you people. I learned from the best. I know how to do this. And I never had to do it because he did it all. He did it. So I didn't have to do it. But that don't mean I didn't know how to do it.
Let me ask 2 questions to the audience real quick. First of all, because we're on this scene real quick, who has the better pizza between New York and Chicago?
Oh, that's an easy question.
It's definitely easy. But I just want to know.
Chicago doesn't serve pizza. They serve pasta.
Pies.
Yeah. Pies, pasta, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's not a pizza. A deep dish pizza is not a pizza. That's still
going with Giorgiano. So, but that's my answer. But yo, folks, let us know in the comments who has the better pizza. But the second thing, since we keep tapping into Tommy's psychology and obviously the trauma of his past, do you think we're ever going to have a moment where he talks to JP Gibbs and he either 1 calls him Ghost or 2 refers to Ghost as his brother that he lost?
He did.
Did he already?
In this episode, he did it.
I missed it. Talk to me. What happened? Man.
Right at the end of the episode, when JP says, I don't know how this works because I never had a brother. And Tommy said,
yeah.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you're right.
He's talking about ghosts.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Definitely. I guess in my question, I was more or less waiting for him to name drop Ghost himself to say, but yes, you're right. And I think that was a super dope moment. So, but yeah, that was my questions, folks. When is he actually going to name drop James St. Patrick as Ghost? I know y'all want that more than I do, but like, I'm just curious, how's that going to play out? But go ahead, Lou.
But again, next biggest thing of this episode is the bonding between JP and Tommy. Because here we get back to grandma's house, and we get the sweetest moment in Power's universe ever.
What, Kate being a good mom for once ever? Was that the only footage of it?
Seeing little Tommy on the video.
Oh, okay.
Right after Tommy attempts to give JP $25,000 again. But again, it shows the way Tommy loves. Because early in the episode, when he gave him that money, Tommy's just like, I don't care, take it. Like, fix your club up. Yeah. You come back with another amount of money. And you can see JP a little apprehensive of taking it. Like, I don't know about this. Like, we're brothers, but I don't know how to take you as a brother. Yeah. But we see Tommy has already accepted him as his brother.
Like,
through nothing. Like he doesn't care at this point. The point that's what 40,000 that he's given up in one episode to him. That's you're my brother, no matter what. And then we do get that picture, especially when JP says, "I finally know who this person is." Like that's a deep moment to have between them two at this point. And again, along with JP telling the story about him not knowing who his son is because when he came out, his ex took his son away from him. Especially when he said something about loss, and Tommy's like, how would you know about that? How would you know what someone's reaction should be to it? It's in a way, it was Tommy defending Kate. Which is weird, because we don't see that ever, really. But clearly it was him there defending Kate. They saying, how could you say that? You wouldn't know unless you had to go through it. And JP pointed out, this is what I went through already. What you think about that whole setup?
Perfect.
What we got between the brothers, the past coming back to fruition, and then the foreshadowing as we see JP's son later on.
Look, at some point, man, JP is literally going to become who we think he is. I think this bond and this trust is only building a comfortability for JP to come out here and wreak havoc. And I think if the two brothers can grow that trust, can grow that bond, that statement that Tommy made earlier about a way we can make money.
Because Tommy clearly we knew what Tommy meant by a way we can make money. I can't wait. I'm excited for the JP Gibbs. Let me throw you a quick curveball to that thought though. Could we see JP taking a role as Tommy's conscience? He is still the good brother.
Yeah. I mean, and it still goes down in terms of respect, though. Yeah.
But is that something that Tommy needs?
Yes.
Because we fully understand who Tommy is.
Yeah.
But he always needed a conscience. Because Ghost, in a weird way, we understood everything Ghost did. Ghost still was Tommy's conscience.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's either going to be him or Gloria. And Gloria may not be dependent because she may not fully be invested. But we know Tommy loves and has very soft ears for women, which I got a few predictions coming up as we get towards the end of this episode. But yes, JP Gibbs is absolutely needed. And I think that's what Tommy knows. That's why he's so very generous with his money. It's not that he's buying friends or buying trust. He just knows that this is an investment for the future.
Exactly.
So yeah, he for sure.
And before we get to the last moment, the biggest moments of this episode, perhaps, at least as it foreshadows everything that's going to occur down the line, we do get Tommy buying his place. Did you feel like he was setting up more of a stash house than an apartment, though?
No telling. I'm sure Gloria would be over there regardless, but
Gloria's going to be everywhere.
Yeah,
at this point, we fully understand she's going to be everywhere.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But I was going to say, there's no telling, but also, again, logistics. First thing he did was pull that calendar, that map off the wall. I'm from here. I think it is an assessment in terms of what do I use this for? A stash? Or is this more or less where I can probably lay my head and not be in the radar? So to be determined, to your question.
And then after everything he went through with the brothers, after saving Gerard from the evil Mexican drug dealers who, without going to too much here, because I don't think a lot of it is necessary to talk about, how the hell did they snatch him from that car so easily?
Listen,
because the CBI, bro, at this point, they got to be the weakest gang humanly possible.
Listen, can I just make a request real quick?
Sure.
I need to put a song on real fast. Let me see. This comes from the soundtrack of Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. Streets need a body. The streets need a body.
Oh,
Famous with another banger in this episode. Streets need a body. Bro, I'm going to be 100 with you. I ain't even about to think about anything in terms of how that happened. It happened, and I'm letting it go. Because, man, major question marks, but I'm just going to let it go.
Does nobody watch their back? in all of their organization.
Chicago is a wild city.
It may be a wild city, but even Tommy peeped at first when him and Diamond got caught. He was like, whoa, are they here for you or for me? Like, Tommy peeped that quick. But Gerard peeped nothing. He literally stood outside his car and said, I got his brother right here. Let me snatch him up. Do you not understand the business that you're in? You know, one thing you're not going to do is just surprise me out the blue. Nigga, my head would have always been on a swivel. I fully understand who you are. I'm not just going to let you take. And where are all the little shooters at? We get Jeremiah in the bins. Where the other two little niggas at?
Definitely confused. And Elijah is the other person. So, which by the name drop makes me think he'll be a pivotal character at some point. So
you don't get a name for no reason.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. People getting snatched up left and right. I mean, I don't know if this is like the 2022 I mean, I'm gonna be honest too. They do say a lot of like trafficking goes on in Chicago. I guess so.
Because
grown adults is getting got.
The way grown male adults are just being snatched up at a whim. I feel bad for everyone else. It's clearly happening. It's a pandemic in Chicago, snatching niggas up.
Wow.
But again, it was just a weird way they set that up. It was hilarious to me, but it was a weird way they set that up, how easily he was snatched up. And I had to bring that back, like wondering, especially as we get to the end of the episode, with the actions that Tommy takes after buying the place. After buying the place, and Tommy decides, you know what? I don't like the point that you all kidnapped me at all. So you're going to pay for it. But it's another move. It's him moving another chess piece. Kind of playing back into what we know of Power, even back to what we got in Power Book 2 with Tariq when we see the huge chessboard. And it's one thing that's one element we didn't picture Tommy doing, which is him moving chess pieces. Him fully understanding, if I take these two off the map and I prove to you I did it, you now owe me.
I will go more in terms of Monopoly instead of chess. But
Monopoly?
Yes.
Wow. That takes no skill. That's why I say chess.
Oh, for sure. It takes a little bit of like, mid-teenage to like young professional skill, but essentially to everything you said, every bit of analogy in terms of understanding the map, knowing where to put pieces down on, and what happens when people land on those pieces. Do you make a deal? And Monopoly it's exactly that. Somebody can land on your property. They don't have to pay you. If you work a deal, hey, give me those properties and then you're good to go. So it is very skilled in a sense how Tommy is playing it out. I do want to say that Tommy actually how he got that place too was also kind of wild too. Like, hey, you didn't know me and get up out of here. I don't know if that comes back to haunt him or some reason, but it was just wild to me. It was like, damn, Chicago's wild. Like that's how you gotta do to get a spot.
No, but remember though, the sign on the door said place for lease. They had to sign up for it. Who the fuck was the person who was supposed to be leasing the place? Had the slightest idea. But that Tommy just gave him money and said, nigga, you don't know me.
Out of here.
Just get the hell out of here. And then we end the episode. Liliana and Tommy having that one-off, that big fight at the end. And it's revealed as Tommy's just trying to stomp her face in. And he realized that, wait a minute, this is a false floor. And you have drugs here. And the moment he pulls that package out and he sees that logo, he knows immediately who these drugs belong to.
Yeah.
And he understands that this is about to get interesting here.
So we know that Lobos is gone.
Yes.
But the organization clearly has to still be going as big as they are.
Because why would they end with one person?
Yeah. And as I said, on the Mecca Richter scale, this is this is definitely a problem. But listen, there's a lot I want to talk about really quickly. I know we're going to be coming up on an hour soon. We know they got pure product because that's how Ghost made all their money.
1,000% pure product.
But listen, have we ever seen a situation where there was two great products in the city? Because the product that they had before was also good. What does this mean? And I could imagine that that's obviously going to make the cartel. Oh my God. I just thought about this. I know I said it earlier, but I didn't really think about this. you're gonna have the cartel, the Flynn's, with the Irish, and the Serbians all in one city. If the word war isn't used in one of these next episodes, I don't know what to say. And you're gonna have a lot of innocent bystanders. You're gonna have a lot of corner boys that think they're really doing something, and they're gonna learn the hard way. So that's gonna be something. But I will say that something else you brought up, that Liliana being back and her past with Tommy. I think there's utilization here.
Yes.
And we know Tommy is very much soft to women, especially ones that are proactive within this type of mindset. To me, that tells me, dude, let's just start connecting the dots here. Now, Gloria doesn't seem to want to be in it because Tommy kind of offered a suggestion and she kind of was like, nah, I don't need no white knight, or I don't need, I'm not dealing with distress.
That's also because he was going to kill Vic, and she's not having it. It showed her connection to Vic
for sure.
Anything else, yeah,
for sure. But also tells me that she's just not part of being in the game. She just wants protection for her bar. She wants to make money. Vic wants to love her and be about it. Vic now that know that Tommy's in it, so clearly Gloria has a type. So hey, that's what it is. Gloria likes the certain type of people, and now you got the two of them, and we got Twilight in Chicago coming up next. Nonetheless, the other thing here, so like Gloria isn't in the equation, but we do know that Claudia and Tommy does eventually meet, and we know this because of the preview for the season that they showed the two of them talking. You have to think that Tommy has a respect for women, especially somebody like a Flynn who doesn't see the Flynn vision. She also
wait a minute, you missed the point there. Tommy does have respect for women.
Oh, I said that. Did I not say that?
No. Especially women who know the business.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like Tasha.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. I feel like I said that already.
You said like a Flynn, and the moment you said that, I thought she was going to hint to like the way Tasha did.
Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But because the Flynn is on the top of the totem pole, because she is a Flynn, he's automatically going to respect. But I said that Tommy respects women across the board. He's always had respect for Tasha, who we always used to say was the smartest within the original Power series. He had respect for Holly. He easily got her acclimated into it and trusted her. That's respect, regardless of this fiery rage, this cocaine rage that he had and killed her. Regardless, Lakeisha, he also had respect, got her in there. It's across the board that he does. But did he respect Dre? Hell no.
Nah, he don't respect other men too fast.
At all. So when you think about this, you say, oh, okay, Liliana's here. Claudia is an interesting meeting that may come about. Mai, who is the woman that Claudia met in the club. We talking about the new drug now. The new designer drug.
She tried to get her father on and
to buy into it. And he said, no, we're old school. We keep it the same way. You know, our way is working. But she's not having that. And you got to think, she is a innovator in a sense, because she wants to change with the times. She wants to adapt with the times. Well, her dad doesn't. And also her dad also is not giving her any bit of anything outside of this box. But the fact that she's like, hey, this sets us apart. She already used it, obviously. The person that she got it from, as I said, she has to be curious about where did that come from. You put her on board too. I mean, I'm seeing a small little off section of power coming along here that could be interesting. And beyond all of that, because I will say with Tommy and his sort of experience, and Claudia with sort of her stature, her power, and her notoriety, and everything else, Liliana and even Maya, if they want to bring her in there, it makes sense. But you still got this major war it's on the way. That is coming. You have to imagine.
By the end of this episode, Tommy may understand he needs Liliana for. Because if she's still getting her hands on those drugs, and I don't necessarily want my name out there, why wouldn't I use her to pick up and be like, hey, no. Instead of 1 brick, how about we get 40? That transition that happens. And him using Liliana to do that transition. Again, it's a very interesting character to bring back from the first season of Power.
Yeah.
So final thoughts. I'm about to say final thoughts on this episode.
I think right now my major question is D-Mac. Where do you fit in all of this? D-Mac is 16, as we know. We do know that CBI is also kind of looking for some hitters, but D-Mac may already be attached to somebody. And who is that? Is the question. So, hell, we got another crew out here? Another crew making noise? They already said, how many murders did they say?
37 in the weekend, which is low for Chicago. That's a good weekend. It's a good weekend for Chicago.
Yeah, it must be like March or something.
Yeah,
it was January.
It was January. That shit would be 89. Like they just shoot with reckless abandon.
Check the history. Yeah, and they said people are spraying. They're not targeting.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So.
No one, as Diamond points out when him and Tommy had that conversation, and he says, "This is what my brother doesn't get. This is one of the things you don't hire shooters who just spray. What you need, I need you to know who you're hitting. Yeah. If the goal is for you not to kill innocent people and put more heat on me. Yeah. But to our audience, as we coming up on this hour, there's a couple of questions about this episode for you all to answer us in the comments below. First, what do you think about the relationship building between Tommy and JP and how it could possibly pay dividends as the season goes on? Also, what do you think about Vic and Gloria? Do you like the interracial play here? Do you think that Vic is actually willing to give up everything that his family set up for the love, or was supposed to be the love of his life here? And finally, Liliana, Tommy, and the past of power. How do you think that's going to play moving forward with everything we saw in this episode?
Gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one. And let me throw a fourth question. And also, David, aka Diamond, ladies, tell us how much you love him, because that's all I've been seeing. double down on it. Just tell us how much you love man, Isaac Keys.
Man, ladies been loving him since The Apprentice. We understand. We get it. We get it. We get it. We get it.
Oh man, I can't wait for next week, man.
But again, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for rocking with us. You can catch us here every, I want to say Saturday night, but it's every Sunday morning, right after the episode airs. Yeah. Tune into us. Comment below. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you think about the review. Check out everything that's on Big Gold Belt, as we are giving you all a multitude of media and options to tune into, whether it be movies, other shows. We got a couple of other with me and Niger coming up rather soon. Another drug related show. Y'all should know what that is. Coming on FX. It's dropping soon. But tune in with us every week for Power. We love this show. We know y'all digging it. Peace, people.
Big Gold Belt.